people react to a build, to a build up and a drop into a big bass line, and that's kind of what works at the moment. I think people aren't necessarily looking for the vocals, they're waiting for that peak moment, and that peak moment is the most important section of, playing live or DJing or whatever. A lot of the time it's a vocal that can really pique my interest in a record, and if something has a bad vocal, it can really change your perception of what I think of it. I go through periods where I'm like, vocals aren't very cool anymore, so I take them out. And then I think, actually, do you know what? I don't care, I love them, so I'm going to keep them in. When I'm listening to music, I like a song. So even if you listen to one of my house records, even though there might not be vocals there, after the drop, I feel like it should go verse, chorus, bridge. In a house record, that would be, drop would be the chorus, and then it drops down a little bit to verse, and then builds up back again to a chorus. A lot of the music that's around at the moment is tech house, which is fine, I like it, but there's no real songs left. And a lot of the classic house records were songs, like you listen to You Don't Know Me or whatever from that era. That is a song, like it's a house record, but it's a song. And I think that's something that we're really missing at the moment from house music. What I generally do when I'm producing a track, there's kind of a few different ways. I normally start with the beat and the bass line. That's the most important part of a house record. It creates a groove, it sets the tone of the whole track. Unless you start with a sample, which is potentially the other way, to start the process or whatever, or a vocal. I still think the drums and the bass really define where the track's going to go. So I start from there, and then I start layering up, adding musical parts, taking away those musical parts because I hate them, adding vocals, adding samples. And actually, a track doesn't have to have loads of different sounds. It's just each sound has to have its certain place in the mix or in the track. If the sound's not really adding anything to it, there's no point in having it. But I think that each part, even if there's say 5 parts, so drums, bass, vocals, 2 synth parts, each bit has to be moving continuously, if that's with automation or actually musically moving, to kind of keep interest in a track. For me, when I'm listening to a track, that's what I want. So I'm sampling a lot again to really give tracks different feels and get out of my comfort zone. I find I'm very much, if I get into a comfort zone, then I just stay in it, and it's one of those things that how are you ever going to change the sound if you're doing exactly the same things every time? And so I think it's important to switch things up. If it's effects or hardware or soft synths or whatever, it's good to change it up. A good monitor for me, and ADAM are a perfect example of this, and one of the reasons I got them was they're a well-rounded monitor. They have good top ends that aren't too harsh. They really are good on the bottom end, something that you can use from the whole process of producing. I can finish a mix on them on Monday, and I know when I take it to the club and test it out, it's going to be of a certain sound, so it's not going to sound bad. I think it's really important, and I went through a stage of not doing this, but it's really important to get things sounding good here first, and then taking them without it being mastered. But you can get it to a point where then you can go and play it in a club and you can road test it. Mastering is obviously the final step, but you want to go then back into the track and take out segments that don't work. And with these monitors especially, I've been able to kind of get the mix to the point where I'm happy, and that takes quite a lot because I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to a mix.